Good morning, everyone, and
Happy
welcome
Saturday.
to the Saturday Roundup. Yes, happy Saturday or Sunday shortly for those who are
Right.
in New Zealand and Australia, Eastern Australia. But welcome, everyone. We have another special guest again, so we're very happy. How are you doing, Debbie?
Hi, I'm well, thanks.
Excellent, excellent. In fact, we were just chatting so much and I was so excited to talk to Debbie that we almost missed the opening. So we're a few seconds past the clock. That's why. But it'll be a fun hour and a bit, maybe.
We use the word hour loosely here.
Hour loosely, yes, an hour. So it looks like Rick was the first one, at least according to my chat, was the first one in. Good to see you, Rick. And thank you again, Rick, for joining us last week. That was very special to have your personal remembrances of our notable last week. That was wonderful. And then Mel is here as well from Australia. And Fjord DeLisi, good morning to you. And Eileen Robinson, how are you doing, Eileen? Nice to see you. John Tyner is here, and they're talking much amongst themselves. Scrolling down, D is here from a humid Augusta. You know what? It is humid up here in my slice of Ontario as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's hot and humid this morning, and the sky
is hot.
Well, in the like 26 Celsius. So Murray will give you the conversion. I mean, it's not as hot, but we don't have how lots of people say it's a dry heat. We never have a dry heat. It's always a very wet, sticky, humid heat. Now, not as humid as Augusta, as Georgia.
Yeah.
Before we went live, I was talking about how we had a secondhand motorhome and we actually went to Florida on a trip. On the way back we stayed in a camp park overnight in Georgia, and I could not believe. I felt like I was in a shower just walking outside. I had never experienced humidity like that except in a bathroom where when I had the water on. I could not believe that was physically possible on Earth. So not as bad as that. So, but I digress, which is why an hour is never quite an hour anymore. So,
exactly.
It's not my fault. Well, sorry, it is my fault, isn't it? Who else is here? Murray Maloney is here. Oh, there we go. Oh, he showed you. 73. There we go. Good morning from Kentucky. Hi there, Patricia Jackson. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hillary from Wales. Alesh from Slovenia. How are you doing? We had a nice Ask Alesh yesterday with lots of people there, lots of questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Janice. Evelyn is here. And Lynette, Mojave Lynette Jester is here. And let's see, have we seen Patty Waldron yet this morning? I haven't. There's Anna C. Matthews out there. Oh, and Azure is here. Tia is here. Cheryl Gaines. Kay is here. Kay was great, huge props, Kay, for all the work on BioCheck and how it's now integrated into WikiTree Plus. Excellent stuff there. Terry Burks is here as well. Ravanda, Kathy Seitz, and Susie Carta. How you doing, Susie? David Dodd from DuPont, Washington, and Holly is here as well. So thank you and welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. And if you're watching on demand, thank you for doing that as well. But I'm going to turn it over quickly now to Denise because she has a birthday party to get to.
Yeah, well, thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. And I am so excited because we have someone I worked with when I first joined WikiTree on the U.S. Black Heritage Project, and that's Debbie McGee Hogue. Today, Debbie is going to talk to us about the Profile Improvement Project. Yes, I'm on an improvement kick right now, people. I've been going through and cleaning house, and I'm telling you, we need these things. That's why I did BioCheck, and that's why I did some of the other things that I'm doing. So the Profile Improvement Project, if you're really into improving profiles, like I know Vicky loves to share profile makeovers. Those are awesome. This is another project that can help you improve a lot of those profiles. Maybe not as good as the ones that Vicky shares, but baby steps. We take baby steps. So, Debbie, tell
Hi.
us about the Profile Improvement Project. How did that get started, or how did you get started with the project?
The project started way before I even joined WikiTree, so I can't answer the early days. But once I got in and I started working, I was very lucky because a distant cousin had added a lot of my family profiles before I started WikiTree. So when I got in and I started adding mine, I found them. They were no longer active. And so I was finding all these abandoned is the wrong word, orphaned profiles that needed help. And so I was working on them, and I found that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed taking what I consider a blank sheet of paper and turning it into a story of somebody's life with all the sources and everything, because that's what I really enjoy, is finding the sources and putting them together and figuring out how all the pieces fit and everything. So I joined the project in May of 2016. And when I became a leader in June of 2017, the existing leader, Ann B., asked me if I would come on as co-leader. And so there we go.
Now you've got, in looking at the information about the project, this project has a lot of different teams. And you also seem to have like a training program. Do you want to share a little information about the Voyagers?
Sure. The training program that PIP has came about because we realized that the location projects and had ways to train people on how to find the records for their locations and how to build those into profiles. But nobody was really showing anybody how to create profiles, how to use the tools and the built-in parts of WikiTree to create a profile. It was just, here you go, you're here, have a good time, And so our goal was to train people to use all of the specifics to create genealogically sound profiles that reported on what had been found. And so we started the voyage. We started the voyage kind of by accident, because I started it with two people who joined PIP. I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and see if this works. And one of them is currently our project coordinator, Robin Dodge, and she has been with me since the beginning. She was co-leader for a while, and then she's dropped back to project coordinator. And they have just been great. Kay Knight is my other co-leader, and the Voyage team has just taken off from there. And I feel very privileged to work with all of them. They're very talented biography builders in their own rights, and teachers also. So patient. We worked through a checklist of 30 to 35 items that we want people to learn how to do.
Wow.
And I noticed on one of our feedbacks from a recent graduate that they said, and that I've been using Sorcerer, and they made me learn how to do a citation by hand before they let me use the Sorcerer on my second profile. But then yesterday we had the thing happen where Ancestry changed something and Sorcerer's not working right now.
That's right.
PIP graduates are just continuing on because they know how to create their citations by hand. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, the voyage is great. I really enjoy it. And from what I see of people who have graduated, they seem to enjoy it also.
Cool. Great. Now, what other interesting challenges do you come up with in PIP?
We've only just recently started working what they consider true challenges, where we get together as a team and work on a focused thing. And the one we've got going right now is as part of our legacy team, we're collaborating with the sorcerers to improve the profiles that were left when a PIP member died last August. So this August, and in commemoration of her, we're working to improve all 1,500 profiles that she created.
Wow.
And so it's a big undertaking, and some of them are like JEDCOM imports. It's just, the name and all the sources that ever had that name, and then the date of birth and all the sources that ever had that. And some of them are really long. It took me a full day to do the first one that I did, but I think it came out really great. So we're just continuing on. That's legacy team.
Awesome.
And that's their goal, is to work on the profiles left by somebody who's no longer with us. We have the unknowns team, who have been working off and on for years on getting last names of birth for all the people who are unknown. And they work directly with location projects because we have people there who lend their expertise for those locations to help us find the last names of birth. It's a never-ending cycle because people are always, there are just too many people that we don't know. We may never know, but our goal is to try and make the ones that are, she was born in 1899 and she died in 1950. We should be able to find a last name of birth for her. It shouldn't be that hard. So, that's what our unknowns team works on. We've got the popular team, which is looking at orphan profiles they're the 5-star profiles, the ones that people from all over, not WikiTree members, come in and look at, so that they can be in good shape. It helps the SEO if those profiles are in good shape. So our popular team is working on the orphaned ones. Oh, they brought up my page. It'd been nice if I'd offered that to you, wouldn't it?
Well, it just takes me a minute.
So they're working with the 5-star profiles that are orphaned and getting them up to current standards of what a narrative profile should look like. And they've started working now with some projects at the project's request to work on profiles that are managed by projects. How many times can I say projects in one sentence? But anyway, they're working at the project's request on project profiles to get them also up to standards.
Okay.
And then our last team is the category team, and they're completely behind the scenes. They're going into the top level categories, the needs categories, and working to either get the profile what it needed or get it into a location or topical project category so that the need can be more efficiently taken care of. Because the goal is to get all of the profiles out of the top level categories.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a behind the scenes thing that we're doing all the time.
Awesome. Awesome. Now you've also got some other sub projects going on here. Disproven Existence Project.
Yeah, those two are led by Isabel, I think at the moment is who the leader is. They needed a high level project to be under because of the whole project category structure. But we really don't have a lot that we do in conjunction. They take care of it themselves, but they're designed for profiles that were created as part of fiction and are disproven. We've, all the work's been done, and agreement from the community has decided they belong in those categories. That all goes through G2G. Somebody gets proposed for it, and it's all worked there, and then they're placed into those categories and under project protection of that project, so that it gets monitored in case anybody comes in and tries to add new family members to the disproven people. It can be stopped quickly instead of.
So are you talking like Harry Potter or Jack the Ripper or?
No, Andrew, what's his full name? I can't even think. It's a well-known genealogist who created fraudulent genealogies.
Okay.
And it's those. They were genealogies created to connect people in America back to royalty in England in a lot of cases. And so they've been disproven to have existed. Yeah. And so they're left, because otherwise they just get recreated the next time somebody comes to WikiTree to do that. So they get left, but they get marked as disproven. I think there's some indigenous Americans in there also. Some of the Pocahontas princesses, I think, are in there also, because they've been proven that it's inaccurate. But it's such a myth in our, I can't think of the word, but anyway, it's such a well-known myth that people want to be connected to it, and so they kept getting recreated. So instead of deleting them, we're filling out why it's been proven that they didn't exist, etc., and they get added to the categories, and then they're monitored by the disproven project.
Because they show up in lots of different people's online trees, you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's really a lot of detailed work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do some great work. I've not been involved in it much, other than it just being in the umbrella of PIP, because they needed to be able to project protect, and so they had to be under the umbrella of a full project, and profile improvement was where it was decided to put it.
Okay. So if anyone in our audience or anyone watching this is interested in improving profiles, how do they join? And again, we've already talked about the Voyagers, so we know that there's training involved. But
yes,
how are they joining this?
There's a G2G post that invites you to join. You can find the link to it on the project page up in the information box. And once you post in the G2G post, Robin will contact you via a private message and give you some information about the project. Make sure that you understand what you're getting into, because the voyage is a requirement to join the project. And so we want you to understand that there's a commitment to doing the learning process. And it can go as fast or as slow as the Voyager wants to take it. Our guides will work with you until you feel like you have completed it. And I've seen somebody go through it as fast as 3 weeks, and I've seen people take as long as 9 months. So we really do work with you at your pace, but we want consistent effort. So if we check in with you every 1 to 2 weeks, the guide establishes a schedule with the Voyager when they start, and they continue working. And as long as you don't miss 3 check-ins, then you're an active Voyager. If 3 check-ins are missed, then we move you to excursion, and you stay on short excursion for 6 months, and you can reactivate at any point. We also use short excursion for people who have something come up in their real life that they need to take care of. Things happen. And so we want people to know that there are processes in place that can get you through it. It's not, oh, you missed it, you're out.
Nice.
But it's an involved, intensive training program.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, anyone else have any other questions before we close?
No, I just want to comment, because you compared or you mentioned the profile makeover. I just want to say that the profile makeover is almost a game. It's a challenge that it takes you have 1 month to do any improvement to a profile. But the profile improvement project is another level. I mean, it's perfection. It's intensive, as Debbie said. And the profile makeover, we used to have some very amazing profiles, but we also have had simple profiles and simple makeovers, and that's also an improvement, and that also helps our tree, but it has nothing to do with what you do, Debbie. You and your team,
and it actually,
you guys are amazing.
Yeah, and the profiles that I've seen you guys improve are great. And once a Voyager finishes the voyage, we teach them everything we possibly can in those 2 profiles that they work on. Once they finish it, we want them to work on their own watch list on a fairly consistent basis. We want you, improving your profiles, but then we also don't require perfection out of every profile. I don't. I mean, I do as much as I can. The legacy challenge I'm doing right now, I'm doing as good a work as I possibly can, because this is somebody's legacy that I'm working on, what they left behind and what they were proud of, and we want to make it as good as we can. So anyway.
I saw Kay in the chat saying, please show the resources page. I hope Debbie, is this the right?
That is the one. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's quick links to all of the help pages, and we've got it all out there so that people can use it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't see that while I was sharing, so thank you.
Yeah, the WikiTree's help pages are wonderful but massive, and so it really is a skill unto itself to be able to access the right page when you need it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
So these are just another way of accessing them, and sometimes it's faster to get there. Oh, trust me, I still have a lot of profiles on my own watch list that I'm working on.
Same here.
I imported a large GEDCOM, and then I don't know how many of you are familiar with Larry Hayer's GEDCOM file. Larry Hayer and I were 4th cousins, so when he died, I let Abby know that I would take any of the ones that they weren't sure were still alive. And so instead of those profiles automatically getting deleted, I inherited 2,500 profiles. So yeah, I'm still.
Wow.
Yeah, cool. Well, you know, we again, as I said, I'm on this cleanup thing. I've been doing it since, I don't know, last year, just trying to clean up my own personal profiles. And of course, with U.S. Black Heritage, we've got a lot of different maintenance categories too that I work on. But I think it would be to my benefit to go through PIP as well.
We'd love to have you.
Get some training there. And if I can take 9 to 12 months, cool.
Yeah. The nice thing about the PIP voyages, opposed to some of the location voyages or the U.S. Black Heritage, you're not working on existing orphan profiles. You're working on existing profiles from your own watch list. So they're profiles that are important to you. And you're learning to do. We do ask that you not do immediate family. So not parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, because you know too much about them. You want to put every little detail in, and it makes it take actually longer than it could. So a great aunt, or, you know, a grandmother's brother's wife, or, you know, something like that, somebody that's important to you, but not somebody who you know so much about that you don't learn the research part of it also.
Okay. Well, I got plenty cousins out there as well. So, well, thank you, Debbie. Truly appreciate your time and sharing the information about PIP. And, you know, for those of you that are interested, reach out, you know, to go to G2G and reach out. And I would recommend you doing that.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, especially for those of us that are doing all this cleanup. You know, let's minimize the cleanup and clean up some of our own stuff. I would truly appreciate it. But that being said, I will end Behind the Branches. And again, thank you, Debbie. Feel free to stay on. But everybody else, I'm going to have to run. So I'm going to miss the rest of the show.
Denise.
Yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow, though. I do look for comments down at the bottom. So again, you know, after the show, once it's saved to YouTube, feel free to comment. And don't forget to check the thumbs up if you like what's going on here, to give us some feedback. We'd appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Denise.
Bye, Denise.
I'm going also. Y'all have a nice time.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie.
Wow.
Okay. That's fantastic. So that was great having those two, but we lost them both. Oh, just the, no, it's just the three.
It feels like the old times.
The old times.
Just the three of us.
That's great. So Denise is going to a cousin's birthday, a 94th birthday party. So that's pretty exciting.
That's special.
Wow.
Yeah, very special. So excellent. Great. So talking about improvement and the makeover, do you want to slide right into that topic there, Vicky?
Yes, it's just natural. So I'll share my screen. We don't have any profile makeover yet to show. But am I showing my screen right?
I'm showing it now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Greg. So this month, I was inspired by, well, it's Greg's idea, but let me say I got inspired because
you were inspired, and I just took what your inspiration and gave it a name. That's all.
Yes, thank you. And I used the exact name you proposed. Well, if you guys were watching last week, we had this connection checkers game about twins. And one of the profiles was Gloria Vanderbilt, the mother of the designer, the mother of Gloria Vanderbilt, designer. And I saw, let me open that profile, as Greg was speaking and telling all about her life, it came to my attention that her name is a Spanish name. And that was strange. So I checked what is her ancestry, and I don't see like Spanish surnames, but I did see Laura Isabel, which may be a name in English, but I know it's Spanish. It's Laura Isabel. So I checked her background, and I got to a Chilean grandmother of Gloria. And that Chilean grandmother is, well, I was 20 degrees away from Gloria Vanderbilt, but now I'm 12 degrees. And after our last show, I stayed the whole weekend completing these profiles, and I got to adopt and improve 7 profiles that were created. And some of them were orphans. Some of them were already created by me, but I improved them. I put sources. And then I created 18 profiles just to find the closest connection, and I got to decrease from 20 to 12 degrees. And I was so happy.
Amazing. That's
yes. I'm also connected to this family through like 3 different ways.
Very cool.
Because of the Valdivieso family. And Luisa Valdivieso is the grandmother of Gloria Morgan. She is Chilean, and she married a U.S. ambassador. Also, he was a military man. And well, since I don't have a profile makeover to show, I will show you what I did with this profile. There was just so little changes that I made. Her preferred name was Luisa, but her first name, it wasn't stated. It was Gregoria. That was her real first name. But it's not a pretty name in Spanish. So I understand why she would prefer Luisa. This profile had a short biography, but I added sources to it. It didn't have many sources. It just mentioned some things, some census. But it was a written biography without many sources. And I also couldn't let it go because it said she was the mother of Henry Morgan's wife, which was the American consul at Buenos Aires. But it said Buena Aries. Buena Aries.
No way.
Like the zodiac sign. Yeah, so I couldn't let that go. No, I have to edit that. Yeah.
Yep.
So I started with a little change, and then I added all the sources, and well, just a little makeover, but still a lot more to add, because then I found the Find a Grave memorial, and it had this newspaper clip about the death of Luisa Valdivieso, and well,
this is fascinating, Vicky.
Yes, and I found this is a Chilean site, the National History Museum, and they have this section about photographs, old photographs, and this is Luisa Valdivieso, so I will add her photo because this is public. It's a public domain.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So yeah, I found these photos. This other one, it's the same lady with this amazing hair. So I will add them. This is so this is a promise of a profile makeover that is yet in progress. And this is a photo of the family, and Luisa is right here. And so I could add this photo to many other profiles that I surely went by them and improved them. So maybe created some of the.
Do you know who each of the people are in the photo?
There is a description. This photo is also on Find a Grave, and it has a description. There's more newspaper.
Wow!
Whoever did this did a great job.
Nice.
Here we have the description. And this is her husband, which was the American general I told you about. His name was Hugo Hudson Kilpatrick. And he was a Chilean ambassador. I mean, the ambassador in Chile.
Right.
And I found this other photograph, one of her sisters. So, well, I have a lot to do. And so that inspired this month's profile makeover, which is Surprising Connections.
That's awesome. And this is Kay just said she uses Google Lens to search for images to find out the copyright information. That's
perfect. Yeah. That it's That's a great idea. Yeah, because some of the photos I showed, they are a public domain, but are the newspaper clippings are not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, keep us posted, Vicki. It would be,
I hope
whenever you're done, maybe we can revisit.
I hope to. Yeah. Then I maybe when I finish it this month, I can show the whole change. Well, I invite you to create a simple makeover. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. I know Lin Young has set up for us like a different kind of level, like sky high. I know Lin is perfect; she's amazing. But you don't have to do all that job. Any improvement is important for any profile. So I invite you. And the invitation says, genealogy is full of surprises. Every family tree has unexpected twists, remarkable discoveries, and connections that leave us saying, I never saw that coming. So, examples of profiles that you can choose. If you discover an unexpected family connection, like I did last week, if someone who traveled to unlikely places or lived extraordinary lives, someone related to someone famous, who married maybe into an unexpected culture, who led double lives, especially those double lives. Please choose those profiles. I love that kind of stories. And actually, Lynn has just chosen 2 profiles. She has Jacob Klesen, who she has used many times, and she's never ending this profile because it has a lot of meat, a lot of flavor. She found out that there was a book with him as the central character.
Wow.
That he was Dutch. She didn't expect that he was Dutch, and he was a probable assassin. Imagine. And someone tried to kill him. So many surprises.
Yeah,
I love that kind of profile. Yes, and her great-grandfather Paul Weekly had a fire incident, who was known nationwide and was in the newspapers. So those kind of surprises, we all have those surprises in our families, especially when we're researching and we start to find out things in newspapers and books. So, well, that's my invitation.
Very
cool.
Yeah. And let me tell you about our member of the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was on briefly and then popped off.
I think.
Sorry. Yes, he was in the chat. I don't know if he's already he's in the chat, but he should be here, not in the chat. Come on, John. He's traveling. He's traveling, so he can be with us now, but he will be next week.
Excellent.
Because we all know John Tyner. He's, like we say, he's from the house, right? So yeah, so I invited him for next week. So I won't say much about him because I expect him to say things for himself next week, and we all know him. So I'll just say that, well, he's a regular participant in the Friday date night, and he's also, well, he's from Ireland. If you have heard of Irish John, well, this is Irish John. And of course, he knows a lot about Scotland, Wales, England, and Ireland, of course. So I said, I won't say much about him, but I will let you know what others say about him. And I selected a couple of comments because he deserves to be celebrated. Kathy Zipperer said, woohoo, or go to help in Friday date night for all things Irish. Great interview, she says. And the next comment is from Anne Fiordelisi. And she says, yahoo, finally, John, you're member of the week. So happy for you. next comment is from Stuart Aubrey, and Stuart says, "Congratulations, John, on your selection as Member of the Week. My knowledge of John's work is from his membership on the Wells Project and his valuable contributions to the project's goals." And this one is from Sandy Paddock. So our dear friend Sandy left a comment because maybe you don't know, I didn't know, that John is very active in the Appalachia Project.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine.
John is amazing. He has cousins all over the world. He has Canadian cousins. He's got American cousins, lots of Appalachian cousins. Like, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I was going to say, John is everywhere. And that's what you,
he's probably a cousin with Mel in Australia.
And he used
probably, sure.
Yeah, he used to do rock. And he was so generous with his researching, and he would even try and surprise the featured person, like he might order a vital record certificate if it was an English ancestor.
Yeah, and he's always in thons. So we see her, and we also see him co-hosting sometimes. And so Sandy said, "Well-deserved Member of the Week. John is such a tremendous help to us in the Appalachia Project. He's being shy because he helps out our members with much more than just European research. He always jumps in to help answer questions about WikiTree and provide lookups for newpapers.com or Ancestry, and so much more. A true collaborator. He's such a bright star," says Sandy. Yes. And the last one is from Maggie, and she says, "I loved seeing John again in this insightful interview. He's always been active here, so happy to read about him," says Maggie N. So that's, that's what others say about John. They're so happy. And I have to say, I have to comment this. Since I see these interviews every week, I notice all the votes this interview got. So John is also so popular. I've never seen that many votes. So everyone's happy that you're being highlighted, John. So congratulations. I know you're watching, or you'll be watching whenever you can. And we'll have you next week. So you tell us all about your story with genealogy and your ancestors, and whatever you want. So
nice.
That's it. I'll stop sharing.
Excellent.
And I'll mute myself because as I said, I have construction being done next to my room. So you guys, please be patient with me. I'll mute myself.
Okay.
But I'll be here.
Does anyone have a cat in their background?
Yeah, I thought that was
me. I have 3 cats.
Because Finnegan is now standing up and he's looking around, and that's what I was looking out the window, and I thought, did a cat come up from the barn? What?
Oh, but Finnegan listens. He can hear it.
He usually doesn't react, but he's standing up and he's looking at me.
Where's the cat?
In Chile.
Yeah, imagine.
What is going on?
Hey, Finnegan. I'm sorry, but he's
thunder,
so
then he's gotten really, really nervous with thunderstorms just in this past spring. I've noticed, like, he never worried about, thunder and lightning never bothered him as a young pup, but now he's getting to be more of a senior. I think he's got more white hair, and anyways, he has actually in my lap so that his head is right in front of mine's on the camera. So if that happens, I was just more.
Okay.
You can give him some calming treats. There are calming treats, and they think it's a snack, so they have good taste.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, and they're very mild because they're natural.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah.
Over to you, Betsy.
All right, question of the week. Let me get my screen up. So I there and that. And okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah, just switch tabs and then there we go.
Yes? Okay, thank you.
Now I do.
Yes. So yes, I believe the featured project this week is the California project, and this is such a major historical event for the state of California. I would say it was formative for California, the influx of people coming in the mid-19th century. So technically speaking, the California Gold Rush happened from 1848 to 1855. And you may have heard the term the 49ers.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And that refers, I think, 1849. By 1849, it had really gotten revved up. So there were so many people who were going west in 1849. And so that's where that nickname came about. It was interesting as I was reading these answers. By the way, there were 65 answers. And as I was reading them, I became aware of something that I should have thought of before, but I was not intuitive, that not everybody just went west via land. That's what I would have thought. Now that so many did, and that journey by wagon could have taken up to 6 months, which is a long time. So another way that is, especially I think if people were on the East Coast with access to the seaboard, is they went south and then got to Panama in red.
Now.
Yes. And now the Panama Canal was not yet a thing. Panama Canal came into existence in the very early 20th century. But still, if you look at this amount of land, this would not have been too daunting to get across. And then they would have continued on up to California. Yeah. Now, there was somebody who even mentioned getting to California via Cape Horn, which I don't know. Cape Horn is...
That seems the long way around.
Yeah.
Going
I mean, I guess if you didn't want to cross any land at all...
no, Cape Horn's there, right.
Yeah, you could do that. But Panama was mentioned quite a number of times in terms of getting from east to west.
When were the railroads connected from the east coast to the west?
That's a really good question. I don't have that fact at the top of my head.
I know in Canada, it was like the late 1880s or the 1890s that the last spike was driven in, and that's when they completed the Trans-Canada Railroad.
Right.
But I'm guessing it would have been much earlier in the States, wouldn't it?
I guess, and perhaps the gold rush, spurred it on, let's hurry up. I think it was a little earlier, but again, I don't have that number at the top of my head. So as in terms of themes, although some prospectors did return, they went, they got gold fever, as it was called. They went and some did return back home, but others stayed. And I would say that the gold rush was a major influence on American migration trends. Do either of you have a personal connection to the gold rush?
Not for me, not to the California gold rush, but connected with Vicky's theme. I was adding over the Connect-a-thon. I picked a family who were related to on my adoptive side, and I decided to add all the kids. And then there was one of the sons. It said he died in the Yukon, Dawson City in the Yukon, and I thought, what? Where? Like everyone else stayed in this little neck of the woods, and then this one was up and apparently he left to go to the Yukon because there was a Yukon gold rush in the late 1800s. And he was up there, and he died in Dawson City, which was sort of the main town where the gold rush was going. But he was pretty young, so like in his 20s, I think. So I'm pretty sure it was probably not natural causes. So who knows?
Yeah. People did mention, those who met an unfortunate end, and I mean, it could have been disease. Somebody had a rattlesnake crawl into their bed. You can imagine how that ended. Indians, Native American, interactions. There were a whole variety of things, conflicts, bar fights.
Yeah.
Somebody died in a bar fight. So, yeah.
Smells right. The Klondike Gold Rush, exactly.
Yeah, and there were around this time also gold rushes in Australia. I think it was, and if you're really interested in that, go to page 3 of the responses, because that's where the Australian gold rush is just coincidental.
Wow.
There were similar gold rushes later in time. For instance, there was one in Colorado in 1860. That particularly interests me because I have a second great grandfather where it is family lore, but I mean, I believe it because we have letters and I can see he was absent in the censuses. That the lore is that he went to the West to a gold rush. Have no information on where he went. So he did, and then again, there was lore that he came back with a vest and little pockets. And apparently that little vest was still up in the attic at the time his youngest daughter died. So yeah, that he brick walls where I would love to know what happened. Yeah. So just to give, let's see, I have a couple of things to show you. I want to start with Karen Packard's, just to give you a flavor of the event in case you don't know too much about it. So her great great granduncle, Major Wellham Packard, to the gold rush, but he didn't prospect for gold. It was interesting. I wonder how he came to this decision. He left from Illinois to observe the gold rush as an interested outsider. So he was sort of a sociologist, if you were. He went via wagon train and made some astute observations about the people attracted by the image of gold. So there was a book that he wrote called Early Migration to California, 1849, 1850. It was first run was 30 copies just for his inner circles. And then it was reprinted in 1971, 500 copies. And then, so he wrote a couple of quotes from this. Now it is the nature of such news that the farther it travels, the bigger it gets and the more wonderful. So it's not strange that when the news reached us in the then border states, the size of the sand-like particles really found in that far-off, insignificant mill race had increased to very respectable nuggets. So, yes, inflation of the tale. And there was, I thought this was also interesting, a lack of preparation of some of the people rushing to California prompted Wellman to observe, it was indeed providential that the news came to us late in the autumn months of 1848, and the journey overland could not be attempted until the following spring. Even then, very many started without the necessary preparation and suffered the penalty of their want of foresight in much suffering and unnecessary hardship and privation. So that sort of paints a picture there. So before I look at the actual answers, I want to show off this amazing free space page. So Bob Teague pointed this out in his response to the question. So this is, I think, it's a sub project within the California project. And so this is for anyone who wants to work on a profile for somebody involved in the California Gold Rush. So just a brief scroll down, the project goals, categories. Of course, they have stickers.
There's a sticker.
The California Gold Rush, or you have your choice here. And then here, and getting to the meat of it, these resources, which are really terrific. Wikipedia pages, firsthand accounts. So anyone who's really wants to dive deep could make this page a first stop. Maybe maybe one of you can put it in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we have, maps and fantastic. Oh, and censuses for the, El Dorado was one of the real often mentioned places where there was a mining camp. So, this saves you huge amounts of work because you can go to the Mariposa, section of the 1850 census. Just go there directly. So I think that's wonderful. Thanks, Bob, for pointing that out. Okay, so now going to some questions. Harriet Knops says, yes, her ancestors were miners from the Yorkshire Dales over in England. When they came to America, some of them left the lead mines in Wisconsin and went west to mine for gold or silver. Jackson Calvert had claims on several mines in the area of Nevada City, California. He owned a mine directly under the city. And then she also said, and this is what made my jaw drop, my distant cousins, Thomas and George Alderson, mined $4 million worth of gold out of an area the size of a living room. Just think about that. Think about your living room.
Yeah.
That's amazing. This may have been from the Coon Hollow mine in Placerville. Wow. And then, similar, and that generated a lot of conversation. Similar to what happens, I think, whenever there's migration, is that people stick together, with those who, were with them in their before place. And so I thought it was interesting. PJ Evans talks about, I think it does. Well, it must have been. Oh, no. It's Doris Williams. I'll come back to PJ. Where's Doris? Doris talks about Martin Judy Dawson. There's profiles on WikiTree, was born in 1824 in Kentucky. And then in the 1850 census, he was found in El Dorado County, California. Their occupation listed as miners. And then she just discovered this over the past year. She had no idea that there was a little Kentucky community there in El Dorado. And if anyone knows about that and has some book recommendations, I would love to learn more about that. Doris, if you're watching, I would head over to that free space page. Recommendation there. And then hopping back to PJ. Where's PJ? I had seen it. Okay, maybe I have to do
Control F.
There it is. Okay. What PJ writes, one of my great-great-grandfathers went west in hopes of getting rich or at least well off. Didn't happen, though. He's in the 1852 California census in Butte City as C. White, born in New York in 1823. And then one of the PJ's grandfather's uncles was in, this is a reference to the later gold rushes that I was talking about, was in Colorado in 1860. That was that Pikes Peak gold rush. It was part of the Kansas territory at that time. So I think that one caught my eye because it was of interest to me personally, particularly, but also just this part about being careful that, look, here we are in what is now Colorado, but it was part of the Kansas territory at the time because it wasn't yet the state of Colorado. So I think you need to consult the maps of the time. Now, I was jealous of Peter Biggins, who's a newt. Welcome, Peter. I read this and I thought, wow, that's a nice and neat clean paper trail. Second great grandfather John Smith was born in 1820 in Kassel, Bavaria. Migrated to Tiffin, Ohio in 1838. So he was 18, married in 1847. first child born 2 years later. And then in the 1850 census, we find Tiffin. We show in the Tiffin census, the wife and child are living alone. The family Bible, translated from German, says, quote, in the year 1849, on February 2nd, Johann Schmidt traveled to California from where he, in the year 1851, on April 7th, returned.
Nice.
So wow, what
Perfect.
an interesting document to have. Yes, down to the day. And then subsequently in the 1850 census, Peter found John, shown as a minor in one of the 16 pages for Mathenius Creek in El Dorado County, California. 626 other minors shown on those 16 pages. So if you want to get involved with that California Gold Rush project, you don't have anyone, you could dig in with one of those 626 minors. So that's good stuff. Thank you, Peter. On page 2, which I think is here, let me find Robert Burnett. There he is.
I wonder if he was listed as Schmidt on that census, or if they had anglicized his last name.
That's a really good question. Yeah.
John Smith would have been very difficult to pinpoint, but Schmidt would be a little easier.
He would have said, in the 1850 census, it still asks for place of birth.
Oh, does it?
Would have said, I'm almost positive, it would have said Bavaria, or
yes,
least, not a state,
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, so Robert was lucky that there were letters from his gold rush ancestor, although it didn't have a happy ending. One of his paternal 4 times great-grandfathers, Stephen Addison Davenport, was one of the founders of the Salem Company, established April 30th, 1850, to leave Wisconsin and head to California to make their fortune during the gold rush. He left behind his wife, Alma, and their 6 children who ranged in age from 1 to 14. Remarkably, there are several letters existing in which he wrote of his experiences en route to and in California. I'm so jealous. Wow.
Wow.
In the final letter dated October 10th, 1850, he wrote, quote, if I am fortunate to get home alive and well and once more enjoy our little family, I shall be as rich as I desire. Kiss little Willie for me and the younger ones. The old ones are too big to kiss, but I do not forget them. And, alas, he died later that year. This is from his obituary. When he had his gold secured and was ready to return with his neighbors, he took his gun to have one more shot at the wild game and accidentally fell into the waters of the American River. The chilling he received caused a fever which took his life in just a few days. His friends buried him alongside the American River and took his gold home to his wife.
Oh,
that's so sad.
It is. Oh no.
He led a remarkable life. Among other things, he was one of the signers of the Wisconsin Constitution that established its statehood. Wow, Robert. That's an amazing ancestor.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I will leave you with this one. Let's see if this will pull it up. Paul. So Paul writes, my paternal grandmother's maternal grandparents, Jack and Cindy York, were already here and settled in 1849, having come west in 1845 and having participated in the Bear Flag Revolt. Family lore has it that Jack went to the mines with his brother-in-law Dave sometime before the true rush began, did well enough, and returned to Napa Valley before things got rough. One of his grandsons recorded this anecdote. Granddad had a keen sense of humor. Dave, the brother-in-law, did not. While they were mining, A stranger came along. Granddad quit work to talk with him. Upon asking the stranger about his luck, the stranger pulled out a sack and produced a chunk of gold about the size of a hen's egg. Granddad asked if he could borrow it to fool Dave, and when Dave was not looking, he put it in Dave's pan. Shortly after, Dave went back to his panning, and when he saw the big nugget, he let out a yell that Sacramento might have heard. Jack, we are rich, we are rich. Granddad took the chunk of gold and gave it back to the stranger, and Dave went on working like a crazy man, but no more gold. The next day, Dave was still excited and working like the devil, so Granddad took pity on him and told him about the stranger's gold. Dave did not speak again to Grandfather for over 2 years. No humor zone. We do not care about these things.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That was a funny story after that sad one.
I know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Rick, our friend from last week who joined us, said he sold his farm in Australia because remember he came from Australia to Canada, and there's a creek, the river that passed through his property there did yield some gold, but more sapphires. So that's a pretty rich creek.
Yeah.
Wow. With gold and sapphires in your pocket, I'm surprised you came to Canada. Well, I'm glad you did. That speaks well.
We're going to visit.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Betsy.
Of course.
Excellent. So I guess we can now move on to the profiles of the week. So let me jump to, there we go. So we're playing connection checkers, and of course it's all about, now it's not specifically the gold rush, but it's the Golden State of California. So everyone's connection with California. So we have 12, and some of these we have seen before. So the top one, Norma Jean Mortensen, of course, known more popularly as her stage name, Marilyn Monroe. And we have featured Marilyn many times on the roundup. So I don't need to belabor the point. But of course, she born in 1926 in Los Angeles, California, passed away again at the way too young age of 36. In fact, the anniversary of her passing was just this past week on the 5th of August. She passed away in 1962 at the age of 36. Very distant cousin of mine, as many are. Interesting, if we look at there's the list of the table of how they're related to each other. And so the closest it looks like is 14 degrees. And so that's Beckworth and Fender are 14 degrees from each other.
And so we have a second one at 14.
Muir and
Stanford and Frost.
Yeah. So unlike sometimes when we have the
third one, we have 3.
Is there a third 14 in the? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Frost and Stanford.
Right. Okay. Sometimes we get into single digits when we have, especially with if it's an early American top group. But anyways, and I think my connection, I'm at the 17 degrees. Robert Frost is my closest. What about you guys? Who's your closest?
I have John Muir at 14.
Yeah, me too. At 21 from me.
Excellent. 4. Patty said there's a fourth 14 in the table. Okay.
Huh.
Well, where was that fourth 14? 1, 2, 3. Oh, up over here, Frost and Stanford. There we go. So Stanford is 14 degrees from 3 other people. And then the Beckworth and Fender is the other one. Interesting. Anyways, back to Norma Jean. And of course, American actress, singer, songwriter, or not songwriter, singer, actress, model, one of the most enduring sex symbols during the Hollywood's golden age. So the golden age in the Golden State. So there we go. Of course, born in June in 1926, Los Angeles. the profile, this is a great profile. I mean, for someone this notable, you would expect that, right? People have worked hard on this one but it, talks about her early life with her mom, and then her mom's divorce and whatnot, and growing up, her early years, the instability, and then her becoming famous, of course, in her film career, and then her personal life, marrying, Joe DiMaggio, then Arthur Miller, and then connections with Frank Sinatra, JFK, and of course, the Happy Birthday, Mr. President. So there's lots of snippets from her life and story are captured in the profile. And then, of course, sadly, about her death and early demise there.
I'm wondering,
yeah,
what Marilyn Monroe would have, how she would have evolved as a person if she were in current day.
Yeah.
What would that have looked like?
Yeah, it's so interesting, to imagine what that would be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah. Because the other, I mean, you sometimes hear about, or you read articles about how the fact that, even though like on camera or on film, many times she's just portrayed as this ditzy blonde, right?
Right.
Now that was often the persona that she was given. But there's a few roles where she actually was able to, stretch her acting muscles, and she had a great voice. There was a couple where she actually got to sing, and stuff like that. So it would be interesting, if she had been given, if she had lived, and been able to, expand and get beyond just that stereotype that, I mean, she was blonde and she was beautiful. So you can't sort of blame them at the time for fitting her in that niche, because there was a market for that. Yeah. Right. But
it's so easy to conflate the actor with their roles that they play, but it's not the same. Of course.
They're not the same. Yeah. So yeah, it is a tragedy on so many levels. Yeah.
Yeah. I often wonder, is there a more beautiful actress than her? And I don't know, maybe it's just the standards of the times. Maybe now we have actresses that beautiful, but I feel like she's the most beautiful ever.
Yeah, she's definitely up there. I think interesting now, I think that beauty, like right then, was certainly the pinnacle, and that was what everyone sort of strived for, right? I think nowadays, now I could be wrong, but I think beauty is like, there's sort of a wider gamut of that.
I agree. I think
there are more, there are lots of beauties, and there's lots of different definitions of that. And I think that's helped that, it's not sort of so pinned in as it once was. So that's an interesting observation. Then the next one we have is Amasa Leland Stanford, born in 1824, Watervliet, Albany, New York. Traveled obviously to California, passed away at age 69 in Palo Alto, California. And with the last name Stanford, you might think, there's a university called Stanford, isn't there? And in fact, this is his, he is connected. He is named Stanford University was named after him. He was a governor of California, the 8th governor of California, in fact, and then a U.S. senator later on, American attorney, industrialist, philanthropist, Republican Party politician. And he served as the 8th governor from 62 to 63, and represented the state in the United States Senate from 1885 until he died in 1893. He attended, interesting, I saw that Clinton Liberal Institute. What? How? I did a little take, Bill Clinton, that's the wrong century. But it nothing to do with Bill Clinton, unless, now that would be interesting if someone discovered, and I think David Randall's in the chat, so if anyone knows, it would be him, is Bill Clinton descended from the people who instituted the Clinton Liberal Institute. But anyways, probably unlikely, but who knows. Went to California in 1852, operated a store in mining country. So he was connected to the gold rush on the periphery, not a miner, but served the miners with his store. Entered politics later, and in one of the 4 investors who founded the Central Pacific Railroad. I think being in railroads back then would have been a very profitable, though risky, investment to do. Someone had said, I'm not sure if it was Tia, someone had said something about, maybe it was Eileen, had made a comment that they thought the first transcontinental railroad was in the 1860s.
Okay.
In our chat, someone here.
Yeah. I knew our chat would come through.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure it's in the 60s. So,
yeah.
Oh, wait a second. There it is right there. The Central Pacific Railroad and the Union completed the first transcontinental in 1869. I just had to read to the end of the paragraph. There we go. And that brought great wealth to Leland Stanford and his associates. Of course it would. His only child died of typhoid fever. That's sad when visiting Italy. Anyways, so there we have Stanford. And then we have Beckworth. So he was the only other one who had a 14-degree connection. James Pearson Beckworth, born in Fredericksburg in Virginia in 1798, passed away in 1866, the age of 68, in Denver, Colorado. But he's credited with discovering a new route to Central California, a new way to get to the gold rush from Reno, Nevada. And it went through what is now called the Beckworth Pass. He built a ranch, trading post, and a hotel in the Sierra Nevada Valley, which became the village of Beckworth, California, an early resident of Pueblo, Colorado. And he left an autobiography and has been the subject of other autobiographies. Of course, the question is, how much did he inflate his own autobiography? He related his life story to a ghostwriter who wanted originally to publish it in the pulp fiction market. So that, of course, there's the question of how much of the bare facts were elaborated by Jim himself or by his ghostwriter. So then, interesting in the research notes, there is they refer to circularity. So one fact is based on the other, and so one proves the other, or the other proves the first one. But I guess it's sort of a circle, chicken egg
reference.
Yes, right.
And it's How do you describe a circle? A circle is something that's circular, and
right, exactly.
It has the shape of a circle, but none of those tells you really what a circle is. So that's what we mean by a circular argument. Interesting. Then we have
Greg?
Yes.
Sorry, we have the answer from David about
Yes.
Clinton. He says that Bill Clinton was born a Blitz. His stepfather was a Clinton.
Yeah.
So not likely directly connected. Thank you, David. Very cool. Next one, Clarence Leonidas Fender, born in Anaheim, California in 1909, passed away in 1991 at the age of 81 in Fullerton, California, both in Orange County. So he didn't move far from his birthplace to his death place. But of course, Fender, if you're into guitars or rock music, you'll recognize the name is Fender, of course, famous for guitars. The American inventor who founded the Fender Electric Instrument Manufacturing Company, or people will just call it Fender, the Fender Company. In January 1965, he sold his company to CBS, which is interesting, and then later founded two other musical instrument companies, the Music Man and the G&L Music Instruments. So, of course, there are still guitars with the name Fender on it. There's the Telecaster, the Stratocaster, or Fender Precision Bass. one of my brothers-in-law is a guitar player and has had a garage band from when he was a teenager in high school, and he still plays with the band. And from time to time, they do little gigs on Canada Day. They for a few years they were one of the acts in the park on Canada Day, and he has a not insignificant collection of guitars. Among them, a Fender is there's at least one or two Fenders. Now, I don't play electric guitar. I tried to teach myself acoustic guitar when I was at university, and I have one up in my room that I don't play very often. But do you play electric guitar, Betsy?
Well, I tried to learn electric bass, maybe like 15 years ago, and I had mixed success. I mean, I just didn't have the time that I needed to devote to it. I am an aspirational ukulele player, though.
Ooh, very cool.
I picked up a kind of decent ukulele at a music education conference, and it's up there with a method book waiting to be.
Oh, neat. Yes. Well, you know what sounds great on ukulele is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to, entertain us with that sometime. What about you, Vicky? Are you a guitar player?
I tried. Yeah. I had a friend teach me. He taught me how to play the acoustic guitar. But it was something like, I don't know, 2 months that I was trying and practicing.
Okay, so I hear someone can play the triangle, or I'm reading in there, tiptoe through the tulips. That's good on the ukulele too. Yes. Anyone in the chat owns a Fender guitar? Let us know. That would be great. Huh?
Brother has
Gail's brother has a Fender bass. Nice. Very cool. Robert Frost, born in San Francisco in 1874, passed away in 1963 in Boston. And so he's got a nice long profile here. Pulitzer Prize winning poet, known for his depictions of American life. So his mother was of Scottish descent. His father descended from colonist Nicholas Frost, who, came originally from Tiverton in the Devon County, England. This is a word I hadn't heard of before. Swedenborgians. His family were Swedenborgians.
Is that like a religious sect?
I think so. He was raised in that religious tradition, but did not remain as an adult. He said, I was brought up a Swedenborgian. I'm not a Swedenborgian now, but there's a good deal of it that's left with me. I'm a mystic and I believe in symbols. So that is a term I hadn't heard about before. Let's see if I go to look up. What does it say? Relating to or a characteristic of the Swedish scientist, philosopher, and mystic Emanuel Swedenborg, or his ideas.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think I have heard of that. I know nothing about it, but I'm familiar with that term.
Yeah. He wanted. So his father wanted him to become an editor. He published his first poem when he was in high school. But he's known for his rural poetry. His first paid poem was called My Butterfly and Elegy. Isn't that neat? And what's really cool, so there's even a free space, free space page for that poem. There it is. And what's interesting is that someone has put all of these poems into free space pages, so you can read them. So there's lots of them there. So that's really neat because he's got great poems. There is, let's see, this is all from A Boy's Will. Some of his most memorable work was written while he was in England. So he went to visit England for a bit. He came back to America in World War I, and then lived in New Hampshire. The place there is known as the Frost Place, which is now a museum, and spent time teaching at schools. Now this is sad here. His poems are beautiful, and his life was filled with grief and loss. So again, this is sort of reminiscent of that what you had shared earlier, Betsy. But his father died of tuberculosis. His mother died of cancer. His son died of cholera before his 4th birthday. Like and it goes on. It's just very, very sad.
So much loss.
So much loss, and depression, mental health issues with the family too. Like it's just very sad. And yet he continued to work, continued to do poetry. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening is one of his favorite ones. And the other one I really like is The Road Less Traveled.
Yes.
One, right?
That's such a, it just speaks to so many people. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. There are two roads diverged.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the one less traveled.
Yeah.
That has made all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think, that could fit in with your theme of the profiles of the month, even.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Then we have Junfan Lee, more commonly known as Bruce Lee, Hong Kong American martial artist and actor, founder of the martial art Jeet Kune Do, and sometimes seen as the precursor to modern mixed martial arts. So he's born in Chinatown, San Francisco, California in 1940, 27th of November, passed away the 20th of July, 1973 at the young age of 32 when he was in Hong Kong. I didn't realize, I'm not a huge martial arts fan, so I haven't watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies, but I did not realize he died so young. At just 32. Yeah.
What happened?
So he died at 32. So he was, he got married in 64. Okay, he died in 70. He was born in 1940. Got married in 1964, so he was 24 years old. He had 2 kids. He international fame through films: The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, The Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, The Game of Death. He popularized Hong Kong martial arts worldwide. He died in July of 73 when he was in Kowloon Tong in Hong Kong. The official cause of death was a cerebral edema, a swelling of the brain.
Yeah.
And initially, they thought it was due to a reaction to medication that he had taken. But then there are other theories that are proposed over the years. Could be heat stroke or hyponatremia. But no single explanation has been gained universal acceptance. But some type of swelling of the brain was. So that's very sad. Yeah. Then we have George Lucas Jr., born in the 40s. Of course, very famous from all the work he's done in Hollywood. Film producer, director, screenwriter, best known, of course, for Star Wars and the Indiana Jones franchises. Born and raised in California. Went to Modesto Junior College and the University of Southern California. Nominated for 4 Academy, but has not won any. Is that true? Could George Lucas not have won any Academy Awards?
That seems hard to believe.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
That true? That's a crime. Come on. Anyways, he's actually, so apparently he had a cameo appearance in Star Wars Episode 3, which is kind of cool. Nice when the directors get to slip in. Stan Lee was famous for doing it in every movie he ever made, but nice that George Lucas got to do that. Anyways, he's now in semi-retirement and he into philanthropy and has a educational foundation for that. Then we have, and I don't even know how to pronounce that in. So I will go with the anglicized version of that, and that's Louis Mayer, or Louis B. Mayer. Canadian-American film producer and co-founder of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer MGM Studios in 1924. And he was its vice president for 27 years, from 24 to 1951, and one of the founders of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. There's a link to his obituary, but his WikiTree profile is fairly tiny there. So there's lots of things between A and B in the dash, as you say,
Yes.
that could be filled out here. So anyways, born on the 4th of July, 1885. And let's see, if we click on that, it'll give us the location, hopefully.
It's the Russian Empire.
The Russian Empire. Oh, does that just say the Russian Empire?
Yeah.
So it's a rather generic dot in the middle of the Russian Empire. And of course died in Los Angeles. So his father, Jacob Meyer. Let's see, does it give any more specific? Just says Russia. It doesn't say any specifics. And his mother was from the Ukraine. Interesting. But of course, Hollywood, big time in California, so very important person there. John Muir from Scotland, born in 1838 in Dunbar, Lothian. How do you pronounce where do you put the emphasis?
Lothian, I think.
Lothian, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
In Scotland. And moved to California, passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 76 in 1914. Christmas Eve. Scottish-born American naturalist, writer, explorer, and environmental advocate, played a major role in the early conservation movement in the United States, and often called the father of national parks because of his influence on protecting America's wilderness. So he was born in Scotland. His parents were a shopkeeper. His father was a shopkeeper, or parents were shopkeepers, I guess. Third of 8 children. They moved to Wisconsin, and apparently very few Scottish records remain for him. He took his first botany lesson under a towering black locust tree. A fellow student plucked the flower and described how the locust was actually connected to the pea family. And that apparently intrigued him, because you wouldn't necessarily think a big tree like that has any connection with a little wee plant that you grow in your garden as a vegetable. So that connection. Now, interesting, he moved to Meaford, Ontario. So that's just that way, which isn't too far from where Murray is. Actually, it's in that neck of the woods. Meaford is on Georgian Bay, and it's famous for its apple orchards and growing there. Explored woods and swamps of the Georgian Bay area. Collected lots of plants and species. So yeah, I can see that would be. But then he returned to the States after his brief venture in Canada. Walked 1,000 miles. I don't know if he said, and he came from Scotland. Maybe he's the one who made up that song. I will walk 1,000. You walk 1,000 or something like that. Maybe not. Who knows? In the way he also went to British Columbia during their gold rush. Anyways, environmentalism, of course, was a huge thing, and it talks about here. And one of the things he was credited with, he accompanied the president, Teddy Roosevelt, to visit Yosemite, and said that the state wasn't really taking good care of this. Maybe the feds should come in and do something about that. So he was able to convince him to protect the valley through federal control and management. So there was a connection there as well. So interesting. Died of pneumonia on Christmas Eve, 1914. Olivia Newton-John, born in 1948 in Cambridge, England, and then passed away just 4 years ago. Today is the anniversary of her death. 8th of August, 2022, 4 years ago. She was 73. So she would have been 77 if she was still with us. And she looks great. Doesn't she look great?
Yes. She was great.
She was great, yeah. And you've got the Australian flag here. She's part of the Australia Project. So even though she was born in England, she and her family moved to Australia when she was 5 years old, and she always claimed to be Australian, and that was her identity. And of course, of Australia, of course, claimed her as well. So, British-born Australian singer, songwriter, actress, activist for environmental and animal rights causes, advocate for breast cancer research, who lived most of her adult life in the United States. So when asked, she never hesitated to describe herself as Australian, and best known, of course, for her role as Sandy in the musical Grease, opposite John Travolta, of course. So he was younger daughter of Welsh-born Bryn Newton-John, who was a headmaster at the Cambridgeshire High School for boys, and a former MI5 officer. It's kind of cool. And her mother was German-born. Interesting. Her grandfather was a Nobel Prize-winning physicist and a mathematician. Very cool. So very interesting, initial, ancestry background. That's very cool. Anyways, at the age 5, the family migrated to Melbourne in Australia. Her father had an appointment there as a professor of German and a Master of Arts in College at the University of Melbourne. Then the parents separated, sadly, and then the profile goes through all her personal life and her acting and music career. So great musician and actress, and so it was nice. You should check that out. Too many highlights to go through, but great stuff.
There's a very interesting story about her last husband.
Oh yes,
where I think they were on a trip on a ship, and the man disappeared, and they thought he was dead because maybe they thought he had fallen from the ship, and it turns out he escaped, maybe some taxes thing, and he went to Mexico to live.
No way.
They found him. I don't know. They found him years or months later. I think it's years later. Imagine all that time she thinking that her husband was dead.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know if it's mentioned there, but it's a really strange and sad story.
Let's see. Let's search for. I don't see the word Mexico in the bio. So that's interesting.
Well, yeah. But it has nothing to do with her being like a queen. She's amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Yeah. Indeed. And then we have Jose Pio de Jesus Pico Gutierrez.
Wow.
Would you say cuarto for the fourth?
Yes,
cuarto. Yeah.
Okay. So how was my Spanish okay there?
Perfect.
Oh, well, I don't know about perfect, but I try.
No, 100%.
Was a Californio political figure and businessman. He served as the last Mexican governor of the state of Alta California prior to the Mexican-American War. So this, I had not heard of Pio Pico before, and this is very, he has a sad story here. Son of Joseph Maria Pico and Maria Eustaquia Gutierrez. Is that how you say her name? Is it Eustaquia?
No, it's Eustaquia.
Eustaquia. Okay, so
Eustaquia.
Eustaquia. Built the Casa de Pico in 1868, which is a 3-story hotel in the old Plaza Los Angeles. At the time of its opening, it was the most lavish hotel in all of Southern California. Unfortunately, by the early 1900s, it had declined as the business center had moved further south, and then is now part of the El Pueblo de Los Angeles State Historic Monument. So going back, so it's interesting. Like the profile sort of tells a bit, and now then it jumps back to earlier times. So in July 4th, where is he? So he was given a bunch of some land in January 1836. And then there was conflicts that led to the removal of the natives, Californios, prior to Christmas Day in 1845. And then 1846, Governor Pio Pico was granted, let's see, he was granted land here. What was, he was the last Mexican governor. It was here. Oh, it's this last paragraph that basically tells the details. He was the governor of California. At one point, he and his brother owned a huge tracts of land. So he had lots of land. And he was a fair bit of power, but then it was basically all taken away from him. And in the end, he passed away. He died, and he was basically penniless at the end. They lost their land, lost their language and their power and their place in history almost overnight. But his name does live on. There's a Pio Pico, there's a Pico Boulevard, Pico Rivera, Pio Pico State Historic Park. So his legacy still runs through California. Yeah. I didn't do a very good job explaining this. You actually should read the profile because it explains it. But yeah, they took a lot away from him. And then the last profile is Loeb Strauss, also known as Levi Strauss, born in Butenheim, Bamberg, in Königreich Bayern, Deutscher Bund, so that part of Bavaria, and passed away in San Francisco in 1902 at the age of 73. So German-born American businessman, best known for founding Levi Strauss and Company and helping creating the first commercially successful blue jeans. What's really neat about this? Okay, so it talks. The profile is divided up into snippets, if you like. His journey began in Butenheim, Bavaria, born into a Jewish family with deep-rooted traditions and entrepreneurial spirit, and then he came from Germany to America. Nice quote here: "The way to do a great deal is just to keep on doing a little. So little by little, you get stuff done." And so every sort of snippet, there's a quote or a title: "Threads from Butenheim," and then "Woven Journeys." Like they all use the whole the theme about
the fabric theme.
Fabric theme, yeah. Woven Journeys, and a little quote: "First stitch, rivets, rivets on the jeans. Final thread is his legacy." Anyways, really well done, very clever, nice literary profile, the way it was put together. So kudos on, let's see who the profile managers. It's part of the Westward Ho project. And Julie Arnold.
We have a question from Rick Leland. He's asking about his DNA.
Does he have blue jeans?
Good one.
Nice. That's very good. Very good. So, yeah. So very cool. Talking about his progress and stuff. So neat. That's right. Blue jeans. So there are your profiles of the week, and let's see. Yeah.
Greg,
yes.
Do we have time for a learning moment?
Sure. Take it away.
We always have time for a moment learning.
Yeah, it's so fun when we learn something, maybe a new trick.
Okay.
I just wanted you to explain. Can you show my screen?
Yeah. There we go.
When I shared my story about how I am connected to Gloria Vanderbilt,
yes,
you sent me this image.
Yes.
Yes. And we know we can get the connection path from the profile, but it's not the same display.
Right.
Let me see if I have it. This is a
browser thing.
I don't know. and I wanted to know, how did you get that image? Because the default path that we get is this one, and I always want to look this one because it shows you how generations are formed. But this way I prefer, because it's more natural to see you below and not at the top of a genealogical tree. Right. And also this one shows how I am connected through two different families, and it says Gloria is my twice great grandaunt's husband's first cousin 3 times removed. and not always you can see that how you're related. So how did you get that image?
How did I get? Well, that is an excellent question. So I'm going to.
Is that an app?
Azure says reverse view.
Well, reverse view will flip the people around, but it doesn't necessarily flip that image around. But I've actually created an app that will do this. Well, it's first of all, there's a wait a second. Oh, so yeah, I will share my screen again. And so what I've done is I've created a little app that tests what's called the Get Connections API. So as programmers, we have access. We can tap into the WikiTree database, and that's how we make apps like the fan chart and the super tree and other things that we've done. And they've added this new ability to drill down and get the connections back, so you don't have to do all those little calculations, which I've had to do previously. And so when that became available, I made this little tester program that gives you the data back. And I thought, well, I want to see it visually. So I created this. And so I put the link, and you've got it on the screen there, and you don't have to log in to use it. You can the default shows the connection between Queen Elizabeth II and Pope Leo the 14th. So you can see there's quite a they are connected through a number of different, basically 5 different family units. And so there is similar to what the one. So what I did is I just plugged in so what if Blanco, what is your number?
376.
376. I should remember that. So I'm going to hit Get Connections there. And now it's going to show your path to Queen Elizabeth. There we go. And actually, if I want it back, because I started with Queen Elizabeth, I want it reverse order. Let me just hit reverse order. And there we go. There you. So your 3 times great granduncle's wife's half first cousin, for half first cousin's brother's son's wife's great grandnephew's wife is Elizabeth.
Very clear, yeah.
Very clear. But so with the app, because it gives me all this information about all the different people, I can tell whether the connection between siblings are a full brother or sister or a half brother, and I can also tell whether it's through an adoption or whatnot. And so I change the color as it changes from one bloodline to another. And then I thought, well, why don't I group those different colors and label that sort of relationship, that blood relationship of whatnot. So if you go to that, if you use that URL, which you can't make that bigger, but it was on the screen there.
Yeah, we were sharing it.
You can do that.
It is again.
You can make those, generate those for yourself. Now, interestingly enough, it's funny you ask this, because I'm in the process now of incorporating this view in all of my tree apps, so that when you click on the little connections, it gives you this type of output
display.
It's a little more descriptive. And when that is done, I will demo that on the roundup. But I'm getting closer.
That's
some
great.
options and stuff. So
But-
that's that you should ask about this. So
And you were not prepared, so
I was not
really
prepared, but luckily.
impressed of your speed. And so we can use it. Is it available for us? It's just on a test.
Well, it's on the WikiTree server. So if you go to that URL, you can use it.
Okay.
And maybe Azure can put it in the links into the show notes. What I can do is I can put a link to it on my apps page. And let me just I want to see. I put the connection between Betsy and Vicky.
Ooh, let's see.
Woo!
There we are. 4 families. So third cousin 3 times removed. Then there's a wife's uncle. Another, and there we go.
Oh, it's through my maternal grandmother's line. That's unusual.
Interesting, eh?
Usually through my maternal grandfather. So
And I was thinking, about this ancestor today because it's someone who married an American guy who owned mines, gold and copper mines in Chile.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. So if you're on my profile, for example, in my profile somewhere here, wait a second. I've got it zoomed in so much. Apps. There we go. I have a link to my apps homepage. And on that, I've got a link to all the apps that I've made. So I'll put a link to the connection tester on here. But if you are in any of my apps, for example, if you're in the fan chart, in the information button, in the information page, there's also a link to other apps by Greg, which takes you to the same page. So, so I will put that link there on this page, and so people can check it out.
Use it, yeah.
If you want to use it. And
yeah. And see, I'm related to Patty. Of course. Third cousin twice removed, wife's fourth cousin 3 times removed. Yay! Thank you, Patty.
Very cool.
What an honor.
So there we have it. And what else is going on with WikiTree this week? There are lots of things, right? This Wednesday, for example, I know that the WikiTree challenge for August, which just ended this week, for Jen, will be the reveal will be Wednesday night. Is it listed here? I don't think it's listed here. But I do know that that's going on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time. This Wednesday coming up. Of course, most immediate is at 5 p.m. this afternoon was the genealogical collaboration hour.
Yes.
And we'll have a question of the week on Monday. Denny is the one named study. Lefties are the connection checkers for this coming week. That's interesting. Coloma, Wisconsin is the one place study highlighted on Wednesday. And again, Wednesday night is the reveal for Jen Schaefer. I think Azure put the link to it there. And then Thursday, new member Zoom. And is that an 8 p.m.?
Well, Thursday, it's the member Q&A.
Member Q&A.
We no longer call it the new member Zoom because we have new member chats, so as not to confuse.
Right, new member chat. So this is just member Q&A.
Q&A with Denise and Murray and Stephen Greenwood. And yeah.
And that is 8 though, right?
That is at 8 Eastern time. Yes, 8 p.m.
Okay. And then a Friday date night on Friday. And then we will be back next Saturday as well.
Yes.
With John Tyner as our special guest.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you all very much. Have a great day. And we will see you next week.
All
right. Around
Have
the tree.
Great WikiTree week.
Yeah,
yes.
It's great to see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.